Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Behind Erasmus, the show where we talk about people behind Erasmus. Today, I have my mentor here, a great person. Gosia, would you mind introducing yourself?
Yes, hi, I'm Gosia and I'm working in Europe for Youth. And I'm also in youth work from years already.
Great. And would you mind telling us what do you do in Europe for Youth?
Yes, for now I'm kind of leading the youth portal that we have, and I'm working with our volunteers, so with our
Great
amazing group, of
volunteers.
course. Yeah, mostly that, but I'm also taking part in exchanges, and we are doing some workshops as well.
That's great. And how did you get to do all of this? Like, when did you start working on Erasmus?
So I think it all started when I took part in my first exchange when I was in high school, and I just liked the idea. Um, and I think this first exchange wasn't really with Erasmus, but it was the same structure that exchanges in Erasmus had. And from that, I went to other exchanges, and I started with Europe for Youth. Actually, this was my first exchange with Erasmus Plus, and we went to Praga for Citybound. So Citybound is even different branch of youth exchanges when you basically focus on exploring the city that you are in.
Oh,
Um,
that's great. So it was kind of like a love at first sight.
yeah, exactly.
That's
And
great.
I stayed with Europe for Youth because there are amazing people who are creating this organization. So for me, it was very important.
Oh, that's nice. And for how much time have you been working with Europe for Youth?
I mean, at the beginning, I was more of a sympathetic, like friend of the
Yeah.
organization. So it will be 7 years, I think. And I'm working there since last year, since January.
Oh, that's great.
So almost 1.5 years.
Yeah, it goes fast that time.
Yeah.
And, before your first exchange you did, have you had any like previous idea of what Erasmus was? Have you like heard about it before?
Not really. For me, Erasmus was connected just with these student exchanges when you go abroad to study. And I actually done this also when I was studying.
Oh,
I went to Spain, to Valencia for 1 semester.
a beautiful place. Yeah, it was the same because almost everyone that I asked if they knew something about it, they only know about the university part about Erasmus. And
I must say, when I started, Erasmus Plus wasn't yet a program. Before there were like different programs that they had just different names, but it was basically the same. And then I remember on one project we were in Berlin. We actually went for a conference, and they were talking about connecting all of this program under the Erasmus Plus name. So we were there
so,
also.
okay, so you saw they making it. Oh,
Yeah.
that's great. But did you had like any preconception? Did you like have any ideas of what it was? Any? Because let me give an example. Before I knew what Erasmus was, before I went to one, for me it was just like a bunch of students finding an excuse to travel for free abroad. Do you had like any thing
Uh,
like that?
um, Not really. For me, it was more a great opportunity to meet people from other countries, to exchange experience and culture, and to learn something new. So I always treated this as a opportunity to develop myself. Of course, to travel also. Yeah, because as a student, I never had like a lot of money, so it is the best way to travel somewhere. Yeah, but mainly as a development.
Okay, I'm happy because it's the first time I hear someone that had like the right idea, not any the like stigma about it. And this opinion idea that you had, did it change then after you went to an exchange or?
Maybe it didn't change, but I knew I understood it maybe more deeply. It's like when you hear about something, but unless you really experience it, you don't really know what it is. Like
Yeah, I know. It's
doesn't make sense, no.
okay. And when you were going like to this first exchange you did, was it exchange or
Yes, it was exchange.
an exchange? How did you feel? Like, were you scared? Did you had like any idea how it was going to be?
Um, no and no,
No.
but I wasn't scared because I was there with a group of friends. So at least I knew that I know a lot of people who will be there, and I know I don't know, I wasn't surprised. I don't know why.
Okay.
When I think about it, this was just normal for me. I was excited, but I wasn't like, I don't know, shocked by anything. So,
Okay. And how long did it last?
it was normal exchange, so I think it was like 9 days, something like this.
9 days. And did you like enjoy the time you were there? But you were with friends, so for sure you had some fun. But like, did it
Yes,
fulfill your expectations?
it was really amazing. As I said, we were in Prague, so I already have been in Prague, so I knew the city. But we were doing some amazing stuff, like we were painting graffiti with a graffiti artist under a bridge somewhere on the suburbs. So it was really exciting to see all of that. And I think it was also the first time I eat Chinese food because I never did it before. So it was also kind of opportunity to experience different cultures, and I actually met on this exchange, I met first group of people that I knew from Spain,
Yeah.
and that's why I wanted to go to Spain later. So it always, like, for me it's always connected with something. I just met someone, so I want to go to this place, and yeah, it's
Oh,
really cool to
so
develop.
you travel for the people, not for the country.
uh, More or less, yes. I mean, also for the country, but for me, it's higher priority for the countries that I know somebody from this country, because I find it interesting. Like, for example, on training courses that I went to from Erasmus, I met amazing people from Slovenia, and it's not like very popular country to travel to in Poland, but because of that I know those people, I really want to go there.
Yeah, it's you could say it's even like more safer because you can get like help if you have any problems with the language or something come up. So yeah, it's good to travel. So if you ever want to come to Portugal, I can
Okay.
can, can host you here. It's great. And during this first exchange, what was it about? Sorry.
The city bound.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is basically about Prague, so the city, and it was the first time I experienced those like energizers, team building activities, all of this structure for exchanges. So this was new for me, but it was also very interesting. And for me as a youth worker now, it is the best experience because I still remember the things that we were doing there, and I'm using them in my
Hmm,
work now.
that's great.
Um, yeah, we were learning some Czech language. I remember there was one guy from Czech Republic, and he was like teaching us. It was so amazing. We spent so many time together, just to walk through the city, because we done a lot like of exploring to the city just to see the old part and different parts. So it was a lot of activities inside of the city.
Okay. And you told us that you've been to Prague before, and this time that you've been there, did you felt like it was a better way to know the city? That was like more fun or engaging? I think.
Um, So the first time I went there, we were on the class trip, and it was just for like one day. We were there on the way, kind of. Um, so we didn't see a lot of the city. We just saw the old city part and basically that. But I really like Prague, and I wanted to see more of the city because the city has really nice atmosphere in it. It's like um, kind of like West cities, but also with this Slavic kindness of the people. So yeah, everyone is just inviting you for a beer or something. So yeah,
Okay, now I got it. It was like Slavic kindness. I was like really
yeah.
understanding, but then you said offering you a beer. Yeah, I can totally agree with that. And after you came back from this exchange, how did you like decide that you wanted to go to another one? It was just like a feeling that I want to do more of this, or?
I just wanted to travel and experience as much as I can when I was still in high school, because it was easier. Like when I studied, it was it was more difficult to take part in programs and in exchanges because you had, for example, one possibility not to go to classes or something, and if you are not there like twice, you cannot pass the subject. So I wanted to use as much of my time in high school as possible. And every time Basha called me that there is possibility to go somewhere, I was just deciding that I will go.
Oh, that's great. So that's how you kind of started going into project networking. That, as you said, Basha is she's the boss, our boss. I think we can
Yeah.
call it that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's great. So you met her quite some time ago. That's great. And how did you decide to come? Not before you start working in Europe for Youth. When did you decide to start participating more in Europe for Youth projects and programs?
I think I had this time in when I finished my bachelor that I realized that this is something I like to do, and I didn't really have a time to do it during my bachelor studies. So I was just visiting like the whole Europe for Youth team on some events that they did, like a human library in Krakow, um, like some just open events that was information when they were advertising kind of the programs. Um, and I wanted to do more. So I was thinking like, okay, if you manage the time really well, you can use even your summer holidays to take part in the projects. So I get more and more involved, and I was searching for this time. So I actually, at the beginning of the year, I was planning like when I can go for a project, so my studies won't hurt on that.
So you
And I
start like
was
shaping our life around the project.
Yeah, I mean it's complicated sometimes, but it's manageable, and it also depends from the studies. I know some people who study like non wait how to say it like in a private university, and they don't have that strict rules about how many times you cannot be on the classes or something. Of course, not all of them, but those that I know. So they are going to projects anytime they get accepted. And like this one friend, she went lately on an exchange, like lately before Corona, I think, um, for an exchange to Turkey when they were sailing with a boat like for the whole week.
Wow.
And they had like foam parties on it, on like some crazy stuff. So it was amazing.
Yeah, that's seems interesting. I don't know if you like to go for it. Yeah, for sure you will enjoy it. But you saying that you're doing your bachelor? Did you finish it?
I finished my bachelor. Now I'm doing my master. If I will manage to write my thesis. Yeah.
And is your master's anything related to what you're working on right now?
Yes, I partly choose my direction now to connect it with what I'm doing in Europe for You. So I'm studying media management, and it helps me with all the dealing with social media accounts that we have, with the youth portal that we are leading. Yeah.
Okay. But do you think if you haven't like gone to this first exchange, would you still choose the same course that you're doing in university?
Oh, I don't really know. I had this moment when I was in high school that I wanted to study medicine. It was like my dream because I wanted to help people. And I was thinking also about law, but I was like, no, like it would be too stressful, so no, don't go there. But when I started to go for exchanges, I actually felt that I prefer to live my life more than just sit in the books. I
So
also
so you
had,
enjoy more like the non-formal part of education.
yes,
So-
and just for experiencing life, because I felt that if you are just learning and you don't experience life, doesn't really change anything for you as a person. Like you more or less stay the same. I mean, even if I will be a doctor, and but I felt I maybe would be regretting not to travel that much, not to experience, because once you are in medicine school, you have to learn, right? Then you need to go to work right away, and then you work till you basically go for retirement. So there is not much space for this experiencing. When I don't mean like going for vacation, but for me, traveling is learning also. Uh, yeah, so I didn't want to miss that.
Okay, so it's good that that's literally what exchanges are. You're traveling, but to learn.
Exactly, yeah.
No, that's great because I think at a point of life, everyone thinks about going to medicine or law, some of those more popular that your parents
Yeah,
want you to go.
I think it's strongly because our parents' generation, they were taught that like those are the best, the best paid jobs that you can get. So there was this pressure, but also I'm not sure if I will manage to get there, because like I had some friends who were learning really a lot through the time they were in high school, and they didn't manage to go there. So I think by choosing to go abroad for the projects and Erasmus Plus, I actually won more, um, because I kind of had already experience. I
Oh,
already
okay.
have something to add to myself, not just high school education, but also the projects.
Yeah, it's a good complement to your curriculum because you it's hard to put in your curriculum that you learn to be a better person or to understand better other people, but in school you usually just learn the mathematics, the languages, and some science here and there, and you kind of don't learn really about how to deal with people, to talk, to be friendly, be a nice person, like more sociable stuff. So that's why I really think that um, exchanges and all the projects in Erasmus. There's many projects like this. That's a good complement that you get to learn stuff that you don't learn behind the four walls of your school. And besides, you get the opportunity to travel, as you said. Would be
Yeah, exactly.
great.
And I
It's
think what you say, like language, is a very strong part of that. Because it's not even about the language that you know the grammatics very well or all the words, but it's like you are gaining this ability to speak freely, and I think it's so important because you have more opportunities. Then you are not afraid to go abroad, to live there, to experience, to talk with other people, because you have this experience already, even if you are not talking perfectly like me.
come on.
But still you can communicate. So yeah, I think this is very nice.
Yeah, no, for me, it's also like a matter of you gain like confidence to speak more because I was talking to Matthew. Sometimes your fear of speaking because you fear that people will make fun of you because of your English or that you're not good at it. It like holds you back, so you don't kind of like learn because yeah, if you're like shy of talking in another language, don't feel comfortable. You can be like the best person that know all the grammatic, write all those tests, but you don't know how to say because you don't have this confidence
Yeah,
to say it. And at least for me, I think this was the one of the best things in projects that like my first day I was like yes no and it's like the two words I was saying. Like by the last day I wouldn't like shut up. I was like speaking and speaking. I could see my English improving because of that. And some months later I'm even like have an interview where I'm talking in English and learning Polish in English. I'm doing like everything in English now. And as you said, it really opens more opportunities to you because you like know this kind of like global language and you have more opportunities to go abroad. Like I well, not now, but I was in Poland. Thanks for that. That even I didn't knew English, well, I couldn't be there.
yeah.
It's it's really great. Well, Gosia, let's gonna have like an hour quick break just to drink some water, and we'll be right back.
Okay, cool.
Estoy muy satisfecho con mi presente profesional. Está claro que no podría ser posible tener el trabajo que tengo ahora si no hubiera tenido más experiencia en Erasmus.
Sokkal önállóbb lettem, mint korábban, és meg kellett állnom a helyem mindenféle nehéz helyzetekben, és ez természetes, hogy nagyon sokat segített aztán később az újságírói munkámban.
Ogni professore impara da ogni lezione che fa fuori dalla propria università, perché ha l'occasione di misurarsi con una nuova idea di insegnamento, ha l'occasione di misurarsi con un gruppo di studenti diverso e ha l'occasione anche di far circolare la conoscenza.
Meine Erfahrungen und meine Erlebnisse, welche ich von Istanbul mitbringe, sind sehr stark integriert in die Arbeit, was ich an der Universität in Wien habe.
Hello, welcome back to the second part of this great interview. We're still here with Gosia. She didn't went anywhere. And now let's talk a little bit more about the present. Well, not about the present, a bit before Corona, because like put everything on hold. You said that you're now working for Europe for Youth, and you take more care of the more social media parts, more things related to internet. Besides that, do you work on any like physical projects? Are you planning anything?
Right now I am not, but I know that I will be in some of them. But I'm not sure in which one because of Corona we don't really know like what time will they happen. Yeah, but about the project, like for me it's really important to take part in them because otherwise the work will be too boring for me. I mean, I like to have contact with people, so any kind of a workshop that we have or exchange I can take part in is really nice. Though also I sometimes feel I'm already too old and I feel so tired when I go there.
Yeah, after some projects you start to feel like that.
Yeah.
It's like sorry?
But it's really great experience overall, so it's worth.
Oh, no, yeah, it is.
Yeah, I think this is something important to mention actually, that some people treat those projects as a vacation when you can, I don't know, rest, but it's also very intensive. First of all, because you speak in other language and there are 20 or 30 other people that you get into interaction with, so your brain is already overwhelmed from that, but you still have like the parts when we work on something, and it also requires thinking from you, and then it's just too much information, so you actually after this week of exchange you feel a little bit tired. I've been very happy and like most of the people are so grateful for this time. They learn so much, but they are also very tired. So after you go back, you must sleep through the whole day, just to
yeah. It's like a week feels like a full month because you're all the time doing some stuff, and sometimes you don't really get to sleep because of it's your fault probably, but it gets really
yeah,
tiring.
that's true. But it's also what you said, like it feels like a month, and this also interesting about the people that they feel like they are so close together, though they spend only 1 week together, but it's connection on a different level. So you can make friends for the whole life just from this 1 week.
Yeah, it's like really intensive. I don't know why. Maybe it's because you go like to this different place where no one has like no idea who you are, and maybe like feel more comfortable, and you open up more, and you get to make more connections with people. And it's weird because during a project, the day feels like really long because all the time you're doing some stuff. But then the days feel that are going by really fast because you're doing a lot of stuff. And then when you get back home, you feel like you're tired, like you work for like 3-4 weeks. But then you feel no, it was like 3 days I was there. Like really, or at least for me, it's really weird how I think the overwhelming is the word you said, because the first youth exchange I did, um, it was like the first day, the second day, and like the seventh day. Like I don't know, there was like a blank because everything got together. It was like really fast, and that's great. And this year I went in a project with you. Was this the first project that you were like a facilitator?
And no, I actually done one before in the summer, and I did the first one alone. So it was also very
Scary.
intensive for me. Yes. I mean, we had some educators who were leading the workshops part, but I was from the organization part. I was responsible for that. Yeah, so it was a lot.
And how was the experience of being like in the other side of a project?
It's different, very different. So for the first part, I think it was weird for me because I couldn't spend that much time with people as I wanted to, with participants, because I had some stuff to prepare or to take care of. Yeah, and sometimes I was feeling I'm missing out, but I didn't really wanted to create this border between me and participants. Um, and this is hard to, from one side, be this person who is responsible, you know, and like they need to have some respect from you in order to like listen to you, but also you want to be their friends. You don't want to be like, you know, I'm your teacher, I'm your boss, so do that. Yeah, so everything this was hard to balance, kind of.
Yeah, that I was going to say, because no one wants to be like that boring person that like screaming, need to do that, but you also can't be that person that, yeah, do whatever you want. It's like hard to find a balance. And you did like, so you were facilitating 2 projects or 3 that you said?
2 by now, yes.
2 by now. And so far for you has been like a good experience?
It was good experience, yes, a very great learning experience, first of all for me. But I also think there are many things that I will do differently, probably. But this is also something that your Erasmus Plus is there for. So you learn how you work with other people, how you can change, how can you be better in what you are doing. So from the part of the program, I think it was great in both cases. Just for the part about like discipline on the project or something, I think we could do a little bit better.
And that's good too. You need to always like try to improve on yourself, not like get complacent and keep working. And do you think that going before handing other projects helped you when you were like being the charge of one?
Of course, yes. So for me, it is very easy now to do something really quickly. When the program changes and we don't know what to do, or we have like 10 additional minutes, so we want to use this time, we don't really want to, waste it. So everyone does, their stuff because we have free time for that. So I have a lot of tools already from the previous projects, like some games, like some quick workshops, tasks you can practice with people. And I think because of that, it is very easy for me to just jump in and do something. And I also knew how the dynamics feels from the other side, from the side of participant. So it is easier for me to think also, like to think about their needs. because this is for what Erasmus Plus is for, right? Like non-formal education means we are on the same level. I mean, of course, I have this role of being a tutor or facilitator or whatever, but we are on the same level. It doesn't mean I'm like better than participants or worse, because they often, oh, this is also very problematic. They are often participants that know more than you know in the topic, and it's also very hard to handle because you don't want to bore them with what you are doing, but you also know that the rest of the group, most of the group, doesn't have this knowledge. So you always need to kind of think about that, think about what is good for all the group, you know, because some people prefer listening, some people prefer visual aids. So you need to think about all those stuffs. And I think this experience from previous projects helped me think about the best possible ways to do it.
Yeah, that's great, because one of the many things that I love about non-formal education is because not that the people need to adapt to your teachings. It's like you adapt to the group and the group adapt to you. It's like every necessity of everyone start to be fulfilled. It's not like if you don't get it, okay, next year you'll try it again. No. If you're too fast, you help others. If you're too slow, others help you, and there's like this balance. And about what you said about some participants knowing more than you, also there's like the pressure of like not saying anything wrong, because they will be like, no,
Yeah.
that's wrong. But yeah, and as I said, I think it's really good, this side, because you learn how to manage your time better. As you're saying that you have a minute here, 2 minutes there, you can like put together. So do you think it like help you in your personal life too? Those skills that you gain, not only participating but organizing projects?
Definitely, but I'm not. I mean, it's weird because for example, with university, I'm so bad with time management. I'm really bad. There is no structure at all. I like to do everything on the last call. So in the project, it's different. I don't know why actually, but I enjoyed to do it. I also had the experience with working with children before and teenagers. So I have some tools already from there. But when I cooperated it all, I think it helped me in my personal life with being open for adult people. Like this is like the most important part, to try not to judge and not to, you know, right away have an opinion on person. So I learned you first want to know the person and then you can say something about them. Of course, this is something like everyone says they do, but it's not very true. Let's say it. It's on different level, and I also learned just to maybe involve other people into that. So I had many opportunities when I could take my friends from abroad to my home, and also to the whole village. So it was very interesting. Yeah, and I think that this learning other to be open to understand like the other people, they are not different from us. They are the same. Like we sometimes differ way more between ourselves in our country than between other people from other countries or cultures.
You know, and it's true what you said, because everyone knows that you shouldn't like have prejudice towards the other. In school, even you have like some moral or ethics classes, they teach you that. But if you have first-hand contact with a person, like as you go on a project and you meet like all kind of people, you don't need like someone to tell you that you shouldn't like have any prejudice before people. You experience that and you'll know, oh wait, yeah, I shouldn't do that because now I changed my mind. So yeah, the problem is that you learn how to time manage it, but you don't want to do it in your personal life. Okay, got it.
I'm not sure. I think this is the thing that if you are interested in something, it's easier to actually take time and to plan everything. And I was very interested in my first studies, so my bachelor thesis when I was studying cognitive science. But now I don't feel that it's very developing for me, this subject, so I also don't really feel this passion for studying. And I think this is why maybe it's not that bad.
Maybe.
Not so good, yeah, with that time.
No, don't worry. I'm still waiting to hear someone who did a thesis on time. They were plan and do it. Everyone that I know is like complaining about, oh yeah, my thesis, I need to do
Yeah.
it. Don't do it last time. That's great. And from all the experiences you have you had working in projects like this, what do you think it was like your favorite one, or at least like the most meaningful to you?
It's hard to say, but I would say in general, for me, the most beneficiary were the training courses. The most beneficiary for me as a person now. But in the previous, like when you will ask me 10 years ago, I would probably say youth exchanges because, of course, it was then for me like this level. But I think also you develop with the time. So I had this moment when youth exchanges, I was maybe on 7 on them by the time. So I didn't really feel that I'm learning something new, that there is something for me extra that I already had. So training courses are a little bit different because they are already for youth workers or other people who are involved in something. And this is more of a like workshops when you are actually gaining some skills. So it's not very non-formal. No, it's also non-formal. Like how to say it? Yeah, it's more about development in your job, in your work.
Yeah, I think it's more like about gaining specific tools and certain skills because youth exchange they're like really abroad, and in training course they're like more focused on something. And I remember I had been to I think it was 3 or 4 youth exchange. Then I went to a training course, and like everyone was telling me that like training courses like they're different, they're like more intense. I was like, no, probably like the same, because I was the same than you. I was doing youth exchange, and they start feeling like it's not that I stopped learning on them, but since it's like something so abroad, you almost like start to have like the know a bit about what it's going to be, and you it's not that become monotonous, but you already have like expectations and how it should be and how it is going to be. So then I did this training course, and I thought maybe it's just like the same, but like more focused one, and it was in Estonia. And even before I got the training course, I had to start like preparing something for the training course. In the training course, it was like all day just like working on gaining that skill. It was about how to write a youth exchange. So like was like all the time like planning, learn how to prepare this, do that. It was like I was almost not sleeping because I had like some really a lot of leader of organizations at training course. So I wanted like to impress them to maybe if I want to one day do something, I can get like the help of them. And then I got home, the training course didn't stop. I was like finishing stuff. So yeah, I understand like was for sure not a vacation or just a trip. And that's what I really like because if you want like to stop learn more, like do something more intensive where you can like work harder. I think it's good that you have like those youth exchanges and then training courses that it's like more training courses don't have an age limit if I remember right.
Yes, most of them don't. Yes.
Yeah, so you get to like for example you said that we're feeling a bit too old to go to youth exchanges, but you still have a training course. This one that I went there was a teacher. She was 75, I think, and she would party way harder than me. I even feel a little bit bad because of that. But that's great.
And this is also beautiful when you see that people develop in any age. Like, I mean, there are some people who were born in the times that internet wasn't even a thing, and now they need to switch and work in that, and so they go for a training to learn how now like social media or something. So it's so interesting.
Yeah, it's to always improve yourself. Is that lifelong learning one of the objectives of the Erasmus program? Yeah, it's really good that they have these opportunities. And as I said, the non-formal education is like for everyone. Doesn't matter your age. We can like fit you in there to help you learn something, not like feel ostracized or that you is not like welcome in there, because it's usually like a really pretty safe environment, so really open-minded,
Yeah.
as you said. But that's great. And Gosia, now that you're finishing your thesis, luckily, if everything goes right, don't look that way. I trust in you. Do you have like any plans of what you want to do after that?
I had plans, but then Corona happened, and so I'm not sure now. But I think I will spend this year for further development of my skills. So I will probably just go for as many exchanges as it is possible, and like trainings, workshops, etc.
That's great. And but in like long term future, do you have any idea what you want to do?
In long-term future, I will love to work in a creative social media environment, something with that. So probably advertisement or creating advertisement campaigns, because this is also connected with my profile as cognitive science and media management. Maybe some higher stuff because I like to judge people. Oh,
I learned how to not to
but
judge people. I like to judge
no,
people.
no. But
Great.
I think after meeting so many people over the years on the projects, it's easier for me to kind of feel like how this person will be, or just to catch the feeling of the person. And it's also so nice because what changed after Erasmus Plus projects I took part is that I'm searching the interesting things in people. Like before, it was just like when I saw something that I didn't like, I was like, okay, no, like go away. And now I'm more searching like for what I can learn from this person, what is interesting, what can inspire me. This person is doing, and I don't even know about. Yeah.
You stop like looking for the worst and bad in people and start more looking to the positive.
Yeah.
Because I understand what you said when you're saying that you're starting to get good at judging people, and saying that, but you said like you learned how not to judge people. But yeah, because
Yeah, but judging not like judging, but
no,
just like judging like to know what this person is like, what their I don't know how to
don't
explain.
worry, I'm gonna save you here, because you stop like having like any prejudice and then any like stigmas before people before you know them. But since you are in contact with so many different people, you start like to feel like different characteristics that everyone have in common, that usually you can like tell how that person is going to be just because of one little thing. It's not that you start becoming better at judging people, but that knowing how they are going to be, or how they are going to behave. And is that it?
Yeah, exactly.
You're
And
welcome.
I think it's also something that I need to clarify. It's not like I get rid of this, prejudice out of my mind, because it's impossible. It's just like how people work. There are like 4 to 10 seconds when you are meeting the person, when you actually already said like the category for this person, and this is like proved. So
Oh,
this
yeah,
is something we cannot change. But if you once you know about this, it is like conscious in your mind. You can still work on that. So I am trying to do that. I don't really put those labels and they stay there, but I try to connect some characteristic with this, and then it's turned out that every person, even if more or less they are in some category, they have different characteristic, and this is like whole connection around them.
yeah, no, I completely agree. I was just like joking with you, because it was like one of the first things I learned when I was in marketing and public relationship, that the first impression is like really hard to get rid of. You need to cause like a good impression in everyone. And as you said, like everyone have like prejudice. It's not that you can have positive prejudice too. This word has a lot of prejudice, so there's prejudice in the word prejudice. And as I said, it's like basic human psychology. If you don't know, everyone, not every, let's say spiders, a common fear that a lot of people have. You already have like prejudice against spiders. You think it's a spider, then it's going to harm me, even though maybe it's not true, but it's just your brain trying to like save himself, then not make you go that way. And you just like need to evaluate and not be stuck in that prejudice. That's the thing. Be open to more opportunities and let people show themselves. But that's really great. We're going to have another quick break, and we'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Karina and I'm working in the European Commission as a national expert. I would like to tell you something about the new Erasmus Plus program and especially about the new massive open online course developed by Salto Participation and 9 Erasmus Plus national agencies. While the current young generation is in general the best educated generation ever, there are still vulnerable and disadvantaged young people in every country of the European Union. Especially the current socio-economic situation created more challenges for young people. It is vital to Europe's future that young people have their place in the labor market and be able to participate in society. A Europe where education fosters personal development, where active citizenship is promoted and critical but creative thinking is encouraged. The recent tragic events in Paris and Copenhagen at the beginning of 2015 have shown us in the hardest way the devastating impact of non-participation and alienation of young people from shared values and fundamental rights like respect for diversity and freedom of expression. To reach out to a much larger number of young people in all corners of the European Union and of all possible backgrounds is therefore a major priority. Information and the possibility to participate must reach a diversity of views and be open to all regardless of their cultural and social background. When we have asked young participants in our youth programs what they got out of it, they overwhelmingly said that they have learned about planning and organization, about turning ideas into action, thinking logically and drawing conclusions, developing future opportunities, and even about budget planning. Evidence shows that getting a job is not just about having the right diploma. Employers are increasingly looking for skills acquired through non-formal learning experiences. With the new Erasmus Plus program for education, training, youth and sport, we recognize the importance of informal learning. We are therefore happy that the new Erasmus Plus program offers increased learning opportunities also in the youth field, and that particular efforts will be made to promote social inclusion and the participation of young people with special needs or with fewer opportunities. The new Erasmus Plus program especially supports capacity building of youth workers and mobility opportunities across the European Union, and even to or from non-EU countries to allow youth workers to learn about cultural diversity and different practices in youth work in other countries. One tool to learn more about the new possibilities of Erasmus Plus is the new developed massive open online course coordinated by Salto Participation and 9 Erasmus Plus national agencies. Massive open online courses, the so-called MOOCs, are new forms of effective learning models for the future. They enable the participation of a broad audience and increase the outreach. Young people from all over Europe can take part wherever they live and learn about the possibilities of the new Erasmus Plus program. Don't hesitate, be part of it too.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the final part. We're still here with Gosia, but I'm gonna let her go in just a minute. But before that, I need to ask you, from all this experience you had in Erasmus and even before it was Erasmus Plus, as a participant, as a facilitator, as a worker, what's like the thing that you don't like the most, that you think is like should change?
In Erasmus Plus?
Yes.
There are some things that I don't like. First of all, that sometimes there are people who just want to go for a party, like they go for Erasmus projects, and then I feel it's not beneficiary for the group and for them also, because they don't really they are not on the meetings like with their goals. They are there with their body, but they don't attend, they don't learn anything. And this is something, of course, they have right to do it, because the non-formal education is something you can choose to do, but you don't have to. So you don't have to take part in the meetings and so on. But if you are choosing this opportunity, it will be nice if you will use it, because there are other people who will want to go and they don't have this opportunity because you took the place. But I also understand that sometimes it's hard to find participants. And from organizational point of view, I sometimes don't see why it is happening. Of course, some people have like exams, some other stuff they need to do, but I think it is a great opportunity, and some people are just afraid to go there, or I don't know, they are just not interested. Though for me, it's like I cannot understand it. The opportunity to go somewhere and experience something new. But yeah, this is their reality. So this will be the one part. And the second part will be probably no recognition in schools or by the parents of what exchanges are. So some parents are afraid to let their children go for exchange because they don't understand what it is. You know, like at their times there were maybe some like camps or like colonia,
Colonies? Like summer
trips.
colonies? Camps?
Yeah. But not really this kind of programs. And also schools that, especially in small cities when nobody was on exchange, they are sometimes closed and they don't really know if they should let the people go and, you know, like to let them free, like for the classes, or I don't know. So, you know, it's complicated sometimes. So from this reason also, but I think it's becoming more and more normal, because there are more projects from Erasmus Plus now in schools also, like in Poland. I don't know the situation in other countries, though I know Romania has a lot of trainings, like a lot of exchanges in schools. But in Poland it wasn't popular before. Now it's very popular, actually. I think almost every school has some exchange.
Yeah, that's great. And it's funny that you said it, because all the time that to everyone that I ask what they think it's should change, it's always the same. So I need like to have like a prize. If you say something different, you get the prize, because I really agree, because it's hard. Because Erasmus, you're supposed like to give opportunities to everyone, but then usually just like usually the bigger cities and people from, for example, I'm from Lisbon, and every project that I go, there's like a Portuguese team, like 3 or 4 is like from Lisbon, and it's because I don't know if it's because the people from more the countryside and less populated areas, they like don't really know what it is, or have like fears of going, but that it would be better for them to go than from someone from for example, my city that's like really diverse. We have like a lot of tourism and immigrants, because we can like get to feel a little bit the experience of being in contact with other cultures, and they don't. But yeah, I don't know, maybe we should like work hard in bringing the word to them that they have this possibility.
Yeah,
And
exactly. We
sorry?
build the portal, because it's like, I don't think it's the matter of whether this is a city or a small town, but the matter of the places where the organizations are, because there are some places where you have youth organization and there are a lot of people going. But if they don't know the Erasmus Plus projects, they don't know where to search for them. So yeah.
Yeah, it's like something really simple. The European Union has like a almost infinite cash. Just like pay some couple grand here and there to do some publicity on the TV, and so like at least one time, so everyone can like, oh, so this is official. It's not like a scam, and just put it out there.
I think it should be also advertised by schools, because it's like the first place where most of the children or youth they are in on it, and they are advertising multiple opportunities, but not really Erasmus Plus projects like after or apart from the school, you know? Like in my high school, it was different because this was different profile of a high school, but in most of them, it's like they are advertising just the school exchanges that are happening between the schools among Erasmus Plus, but just the school ones, and people don't really know about European Solidarity Corps, voluntary services, the projects that are happening, or the other possibilities from Erasmus Plus.
Yeah, and I was kind of surprised when you said that schools in Poland, they're like pushing the program, because I was trying to organize something in a school here in Lisbon. And I talked to like almost like 20 different schools, and yeah, didn't do anything because they're like either they didn't like believe me or didn't want to do it, or they just said no, it's a waste of our time of our students. And I first, because the perspective that I have is that usually the people from the more formal education side, they I don't know if the teachers feel like threatened that maybe they lose their jobs if the kids start doing projects like this, because like the cooler thing, the non-formal education, the more fun. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I was like really surprised, and it's good that Poland is doing that, because yeah, here it's the opposite. That's great. Yeah. Okay. And just before we finish here, you mind telling us why do you decide to become a youth worker?
What, sorry?
Would you mind telling us why did you decide to become a youth worker?
I don't think there was a moment when I decided that. It was just a process. I started when I was 14 by leading kind of after school environment when we help children with homework, when we play something, we went for walks, and this was just something that I started to do. Then I was in this other youth organization, and I was also organizing like some camps, events. So it was just natural development of the events for me. It wasn't like I decided, yes, I want to be youth worker.
Okay, so you were just
decided,
like going with the flow.
yeah, I decided about the work that it would be my work, but you can be youth worker even if you are working in totally different field. You can do it like after classes voluntarily or whatever. So yeah, I think this is more whatever.
And you have like any tips for someone who wants to become a youth worker, like something that can help them?
I mean, just if you enjoy it, just do it. I mean, every youth worker is different. This is also something that is unique. We always love, we have some types of youth workers. There's like a teacher youth worker. I will be a little bit like that because I like to have structure in my workshops. They're like very popular among like especially male youth worker. Is like this buddy youth worker when you are friends with everyone and you are so cool. So yes, I mean, you have to find your own way how you prefer to do stuff. If it is making you feel good and the youth wants to be with you, wants to take part in the project, I think it's fine whatever you are doing, actually, like whatever direction you go.
Okay. Well, let's now do like a lightning round of questions. I'm just gonna ask you questions, and you just like tell something that comes to your mind. And like we fast need to explain, we understand you're a good person, even though you like to judge people. I'm joking. Okay. So what's your favorite aspect of your job? Like, what is your favorite thing that you do?
Favorite thing, meeting people.
Job, you think is like the best, like to do the networking and just.
Yes, for me it's not as much about networking. It's more about I don't know. I just appreciate people, and they are very inspiring for me. So when I see young people, and we have a lot of them now in our organization who are so active, they are fighting for environment, and like they have their own stuff they want to do. I don't know, some hobbies or something. It's just beautiful. I don't know.
Okay.
So,
You get to see firsthand what you're doing. I think it's great that if you know the people, you see that what you're doing, like it's affecting other lives. Okay. And your favorite country to travel?
my favorite country to travel. Um, I would say Spain, because it's very easy to move among cities. It's cheap. There is a lot of couch surfers, so for me it was also very cool. Yeah, to travel, yes.
Okay. And just we got an idea of your personal taste. What's your like favorite book, since you have so many books out behind you?
Yeah, I do. My favorite books. I like Oliver Sacks books. They're a little bit about like neuropsychology, cognitive science, but they are written in the form that everyone can understand. So they're like normal books, but with this background of some psychology. I really like Harry Potter series of books. It's my favorite when I need time just to reset my mind, and then I'm going back to them. What other books? I like psychology books in general, so maybe that.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, it's good. Okay. And what's your favorite TV show?
I don't really have a favorite one, but my favorite type of TV show will be like criminal series of any kind.
Also, you should like more like realistic stuff, because you're saying that you prefer that your favorite book was like based on psychology.
Yeah,
Or
also,
this
so
one.
like, for example, Netflix Alienist or like the Sherlock Holmes, the kind of stuff when you have crime and also like some analytic deep thinking. It's my
Yeah,
favorite.
but then you like Harry Potter.
Yeah, but this is more. I think it's more hitting on my childhood memories. Also, this creation of another world when you can become someone else, and then there is this world full of magic. And I think this is also like you can treat Erasmus Plus as that. This place where only chosen one can go, and you can develop different stuff, and the magic is happening. So.
Okay, yeah, you know what? I had more questions, but that was a good place to end. Was like all magical. So thank you very much, Gosia. Thank you for participating in this interview. And is there like something you would like to plug? Your social media, any site that you would like to share?
You can visit our youth portal site. I think it would be cool because we are posting there opportunities from Erasmus Plus and yeah, mostly in Laser Poland, but I think they are unified for everyone. And actually, last week there was an article about the places where you can find different projects. So I think this could be interesting.
Okay, well, that's great. And also don't forget to check our YouTube channel. We have like 2 more interviews plus some other stuff. We have the Instagram where we post. We have a little serious stuff too. To do in quarantine, for example. And I hope everyone's staying safe. Thank you again, Gosia. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.